Hello, my name is Jasmine and I'm the teen librarian at the Lamont Public Library District. Today I'm going to be sharing with you a few new teen fiction, nonfiction, and graphic novels for the month of November that you'll be able to find here at the library. At the end, I'll also be telling you about teen programs we're offering this holiday season and service hour opportunities that you might be interested in. Let's get started. Godly Heathens by H.E. Edmond. Jem Eccles is a non-binary Seminole teen living in the tiny town of Gracie, Georgia. Known for being their peers' queer awakening, Jem leans hard on charm to disguise the anxious mess they are beneath. The only person privy to their authentic self is another trans kid, Enzo, who's 1,000 long, painful miles away in Brooklyn. But even Enzo doesn't know about Jem's dreams, haunting visions of magic and violence that have always felt too real. So how does Willa Mae Hardy, the strange new girl in town, act like she and Jem are old companions and seem to know things about them they've never told anyone else? When Jem is attacked by a stranger claiming to be the goddess of death, Willa Mae saves their life and finally offers some answers. She and Jem are reincarnated gods who've known and loved each other across lifetimes. But Jem, or at least who Jem used to be, hasn't always been the most benevolent deity. They've made a lot of enemies in the Parthenon, enemies who, like the goddess of death, will keep coming. It's a good thing that they've still got Enzo, but as worlds collide and the past catches up with the present, Jem will discover that everyone has something to hide. Read-alects include The Wicked Bargain by Gabe Cole, Nova and Zara, Guardians of Dawn, Book 1 by S.E. J. Jones. Artifice by Sharon Cameron. Isa de Smet was raised in the vibrant and glittering world of her parents' small art gallery in Amsterdam, a hub of beauty, creativity, and expression, until the Nazi occupation wiped the color from her city's palette. The degenerate art of the Galerie de Smet is confiscated. The artists in hiding are deported. Her best friend, Truus, fled to join the shadowy Dutch resistance. And masterpiece by masterpiece, the Nazis are buying and stealing her country's heritage, feeding the Third Reich's ravenous appetite for culture and art. So when the unpaid taxes threaten her beloved but empty gallery, Isa decides to make the Nazis pay. She sells them a fake, a Rembrandt copy drawn by her talented father, a sale that sets Isa perilously close to the second most hated class of people in the city, the collaborators. Isa sells her beautiful forgery to none other than Hitler himself, and on the way to the auction discovers that Truus is part of a resistance ring to smuggle Jewish babies out of Amsterdam. But Truus cannot save more children without money, a lot of money, and Isa thinks she knows how to get it. One more forgery, a copy of an exquisite Vermeer, and the Nazis will pay for the rescue of the very children they are trying to annihilate. To make the sale, though, Isa will need to learn the art of a master forger before the children can be deported and before she can be outed as a collaborator. And she finds an unlikely source to help her, the young Nazi soldier, a blackmailer and thief of Dutch art, who now says he wants to desert the German army, yet worth it not always seems from the surface, and a fake can be difficult to spot, both in art and in the people. Read-alects include Ashes in the Snow by Ruta Septia and Nothing Sung and Nothing Spoken by Nita Tidal. Emmett by L.C. Rosen. Emmett Woodhouse, handsome, clever, and rich, with a comfortable home and happy disposition, seemed to unite most of the best blessings of existence, and had lived nearly 18 years in the world with very little to distress or vex him. Emmett knows he's blessed, and because of that, he tries to give some charity work to letting the often irritating Georgia sit at his table at lunch. He knows it's important to be nice, and recently he's found a new way of giving matchmaking. He set up his best friend Taylor and his new boyfriend with her new boyfriend, and it's gone perfectly. So, when his occasional friend with benefits, Harrison, starts saying he wants a boyfriend, something Emmett definitely does not want to be, he decides to try and find Harrison the perfect man at Highbury Academy, the candy-colored private school they attend just outside of Los Angeles. Emmett's childhood friend Miles thinks finding a boyfriend for a guy who you sleep with is a bad idea, but Miles is straight, and Emmett says this is gay life. Your friends, your lovers, your boyfriends, they all come in from this very same small pool. That's why Emmett doesn't date, to keep things clean. He knows the human brain isn't done developing until 25, so any relationship he enters into before then would inevitably end in a heartbreak, in loss, and he's seen what loss can do. His mother died 4 years ago, and his dad hasn't been the same since. But the lines Emmett tries to draw are more porous than he thinks, and as he tries to find Harrison the perfect match, he learns that, gifted as he may be, maybe he has no idea what he's doing when it comes to love. Read-alikes include Pride and Prejudice and Pittsburgh by Rachel Lipcott and They Hate Each Other by Amanda Woody. Only She Came Back by Margot Harrison. A chilling thriller about an unlikely friendship between a true crime fan and a former high school classmate suspected of murdering her influencer boyfriend, perfect for fans of Holly Jackson and Courtney Summers. On July 28 at 6:30 p.m., Carrie Dunmore walks out of the desert wearing her boyfriend's sweatshirt covered in his blood. Dazed and on the verge of unconsciousness, she tells a cashier that he's still out there and most likely dead. The disappearance of Kayla Massey, a survival guru with hundreds of thousands of YouTube followers, rocks the nation, and Carrie is a prime suspect. Back in Carrie's hometown, true crime fanatic Sam is completely hooked on the case, especially now that she recognizes the suspect as Shy Katie from high school. Although they didn't know each other well, that doesn't stop Sam from reaching out to befriend her old classmate. But when Carrie starts to confide in her, Sam realizes there's more to the story than she had imagined. Can she keep Carrie's secrets even though revealing them could put her where she's always longed to be, at the center of the story? Read-alikes include Girl Forgotten by April Henney and Tell Me No Lies by Andrea Contos. Gorgeous Gruesome Faces by Linda Chang. After a shocking scandal that abruptly ended her teen pop star career, 18-year-old Sunny Lee spends her days longing for her former life and cyberstalking her ex-BFF and groupmate Candy. The two were once inseparable. That was then, before the tragedy and heartache they left in their wake. In the here and now, Sunny is surprised to discover that Candy is attending a new K-pop workshop in her hometown. Candy might be there chasing stardom, but Sunny can't resist the chance to join her and finally confront their traumatic history. Because she still can't figure out what happened that horrible night when Mina, the third on their tight-knit trio, jumped to her death, or if the dark and otherworldly secrets she and Candy were keeping had something to do with it. But the workshop doesn't bring the answers Sunny had hoped for, nor a happy reunion with Candy. Instead, Sunny finds herself haunted by ghostly visions while strange injuries start happening to her competitors, followed by even stranger mutations to their bodies. In her race to survive, Sunny will have to expose those who is behind the carnage, and if Candy is up for blood once more. Read-alikes include You Won't Believe Me by Sin Belong and Someone Is Always Watching by Kelly Armstrong. Check and Mate by Allie Hazelwood. Mallory Greenleaf is dumb at chess. Every move counts nowadays. After the sport led to the destruction of her family 4 years earlier, Mallory's focus is on her mom, her sisters, and the dead-end job that keeps the light on. That is, until she begrudgingly agrees to play in one last charity tournament and inadvertently wipes the board with notorious king-killer Nolan Sawyer, current world champion and reigning bad boy of chess. Nolan's loss to an unknown rookie shocks everyone. What's even more confusing, his desire to cross pawns again. What kind of gambit is Nolan playing? The smart move would be to walk away, resign, game over, but Mallory's victory opens the door to sorely needed cash prizes, and despite everything, she can't help feeling drawn to the enigmatic strategist. As she rocks up the ranks, Mallory struggles to keep her family safely separated from the game that wrecked it in the first place. And as her love for the sport she so desperately wanted to hate begins to rekindle, Mallory quickly realizes that the games aren't only on the board. The spotlight is brighter than she imagined, and the competition can be fiercely attractive, and intelligent and infuriating. Reader likes include Sleepless in Dubai by Saninj Patel and Tilly in Technicolor by Maisie Eddings. Gender Rebels, 30 Trans, Non-Binary, and Gender-Expansive Heroes Past and Present by Catherine Locke. Explore the history of trans and non-binary people throughout the world in this gorgeously illustrated nonfiction book for young teens. Readers will be educated and enlightened about gender-expansive people who have made a difference in our history and who continue to help raise awareness of diversity and inclusion in current society. Introductory materials give readers an insight into pronoun usage, the history of the word transgender, and more before providing engaging and fascinating information about 30 trans, gender-expansive, and non-binary people who have helped shape our world, from Kalan of Epidaurus, the first intersex individual to receive surgery, to Elliot Page, a trans actor, to Tomoya Hassan, the first trans politician in Japan. This book will open up dialogue and help educate young adults on the history, legacy, and future of trans, gender-expansive, and non-binary people and their rights, at a time when protecting those rights is needed more than ever. The book is complete with sidebars about trans topics, a reference guide, and a glossary of terminology. Reader likes include This Is Our Rainbow, 16 Stories of Her, Him, Them, and Us by Catherine Locke, and Bodies Are Cool by Tyler Feder. The Boy from Clearwater by Yu P. Yoon. Part Taiwan, 1930s. Tae Kun Lin, an ordinary boy born in Quinchu, recounts a carefree childhood despite the Japanese growing up happily with the company of nursery rhymes and picture books on Quinchu Street. As war emerges, Tae memories shift to military parades, air raids, and watching others face conscription into the army. It seems no one can escape. After the war, the book-loving teenager tries hard to learn Mandarin and believes he is finally stepping towards a comfortable future. But little does he know, a dark cloud awaits him ahead. Part Taiwan, 1950s. In his second year of Taichung First Senior High School, Tae is arrested simply for joining a book club and subsequently tortured, deprived of civil rights, and sent to Green Island for reformation, lasting until his release in September 1960. Tae, a victim of the White Terror era, spends 10 years of his youth in prison on an unjust charge, but he is ready to embrace freedom. Reader likes include They Called Us Enemy by George Takei and Everything Sad is Untrue, a true story by Daniel Nayeri. Unordinary by Yuri Chan. From Webtoon, the #1 digital comic platform, comes Unordinary, the popular action-packed series about John, an ordinary teen trying to survive high school in a world where superpowers dictate social status, and betrayal and conspiracies make up every turn. Nobody pays much attention to John, just a normal teenager at a high school where the social elite happen to possess unthinkable powers and abilities. John prefers it that way. The more he stays under the radar and stays closer to the Royals' most powerful ace, Seraphina, the safer he is in the halls of Welton High. But John has a secret past that threatens to bring down the school's whole social order, and much more. And when the other students start to suspect John has something to hide, he becomes their latest target. Suddenly, John is pulled into a world of turf wars, betrayals, and deadly conspiracies. Reader likes include Wind by James Tiernan and Quincredible by Rodney Barnes. Static Up All Night by Lamar Giles. Virgil, aka Static, can do amazing things with his vast array of electrical abilities, but instantly mending a broken heart isn't in his skill set. Virgil Hawkins has just gone through a bad breakup. He can't get over his ex, so his best friend Richie has an idea for how to attend a music festival in their city of Dakota. But wouldn't you know it, his ex is in attendance, and that's just the beginning of his troubles. A series of encounters and events leads to an all-night adventure involving supervillains, a diner, a reluctant rapper, and a size-changing kleptomaniac, as well as Virgil's frequent bad decision-making. But in the end, with the help of his friends, Virgil will find he can move on from a broken heart. Read-alikes include Mr. Miracle by Varian Johnson and Children of the Atom by Vida Ataya. Be Free by Gabby Rivera. It's been over 20 years since the plague that ate greed wiped out half the population, and it's the only world that BB has ever known. Broadcasting her underground radio show from her remote swamp community, BB Free has no idea about the world outside her home, or her role in it. But when BB discovers a terrible secret about her overbearing father, she realizes that everything she believed in could be a lie. Now on the run from her own family, BB will learn the truth about the world she lives in, and about the power she never knew she had. Read-alikes include I Am Hexed Volume 1 by Kristen Thompson and Awaken by Cody Savendra. The Books of Clash Volume 2 by Jean Luen Yang. Based on the global hit Clash of Clans and penned by superstar graphic novelist Jen Luen Yang, this second volume of a new action-packed series brings the characters from everyone's favorite mobile gaming sensation to life. Once upon a time, archers Jane and Angie were best friends who did everything together. That is, until one day during battle, Jane found herself stranded and alone in the otherworldly cave where she stumbled upon a mysterious scroll with an even more mysterious message. Continuing the epic graphic novel series set in the world of Clash of Clans and Clash Royale, Jean Luen Yang pens an overbeat and action-packed tale that turns the fantasy adventure genre on its head. Read-alikes include Avatar: The Last Airbender, The Promise Part 1 by Jean Luen Yang, and The Shadow Heart Omnibus by Jean Luen Yang. Ashinoko by Aka Akasaka. In the entertainment industry, lying is both your strongest weapon and an exceptional form of love. Goro, a gynecologist and a massive Become Yanchi stan, finds his life turned upside down when his newest patient turns out to be Become Yanchi member Ei-chan herself. Despite the industry seeing children as a idol's death sentence, the 16-year-old Ai still desperately wants to give birth. So under the cover of secrecy, Goro helps the young idol with her prenatal care, only to be attacked and killed the night she's due to give birth. Incarnated as one of her newborn twins, Goro, now Aquamarine Hoshino, gets to spend 24 hours a day in the arms of his favorite idol. But can a ditzy young idol with a life full of lies make a good mother? And what of Ruby, his suspiciously verbose sister? Read-alikes include Kigurumi Guardians by Lily Hoshino and Iyanu by Rory Akupu. This holiday season for tween and teen programs, we are offering Open Art Studio, Taster's Choice Oreo and Jelly Beans, Cocoa and Coloring After Dark, Teen Treat Yourself book bags. We're also doing 100 books before graduation, where you read 100 books before graduating, log them through your Beanstack account, and win prizes on the way to 100. For service hours, we have our At Your Service and Teen Volunteer Squad programs, and our Character Pen Pals letter writing program, where you can come in and pick up a kit to write letters to children as their favorite character. We also have book reviews and advanced reader book reviews, where you get to keep the title after reviewing it. I also make Teen Take and Makes each month. If you're looking for a quick craft to complete at home, this month's craft will be butterfly bookmarks. If you'd like any more information about programs or service hour opportunities, you can contact me at jwilkerson@lamontlibrary.org. Thank you and have a great night.